Impact Interview is sponsored by the Pocono Mountains, where small town charm meets big adventures. Book your trip today by visiting PoconoMountains.com.
Well, welcome back. Time for our Impact Interview and talk about a well-rounded person making the most of his life experiences. He came to Penn State in 2009 from the Milton Hershey School. During his career, he played positions on both sides of the ball. After his time with the Nittany Lions, he competed in the NFL and played in the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. But it's after his football career that's really fascinating. He's currently the CEO of The Bridge with the goal of building eco-villages and creating opportunities with buildings that go from business to education to living. Really been looking forward to this. Garry Gilliam, welcome to Nittany Game Week.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Look, your life's trajectory was certainly impacted by the Milton Hershey School and Penn State. Can you talk a little bit about how those places helped mold you to become the man and the leader that you have become today?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Milton Hershey School itself, founded by the great chocolatier Milton Hershey, and he committed his company's wealth, essentially, and his family's wealth to marginalized and unfortunate, situations. So I'm a product of one of those, donations, if you will. And Milton Hershey School itself has a model called the whole child approach, where they really promoted us and prompted us to be more than just athletes or more than just scholars, but they also promoted, wanted us to be actors. They taught us how to play piano and guitar. They just wanted us to be well-rounded individuals. And at the core of it, Milton Hershey really knew that the skills pay the bills. So they taught us trades before we left. So beyond just being athletes, scholars, we all also then got certified in trades as well.
Well, we talk about today. Today, you're the CEO of The Bridge, a really innovative concept in urban redevelopment that is unique in that it benefits the people who already live in these urban areas. So for those who are not as familiar with your project, talk a little about the concept, how it came to you, and how they can get involved.
Yeah, so at Penn State, I triple majored in business, PR and advertising, and psychology. And in business school, they taught us to identify a point of pain and to solve it with a product, a good, or a service. So through college, through my professional career, I was identifying different points of pain and writing up full business plans to really solve them. Now, some of those points of pains were things like lack of affordable housing and food deserts and disparities in education and things like that, which are pretty massive, problems to try and solve for, homelessness. But as I went through my professional career and then played in Seattle and played in San Francisco, I saw a lot of homeless people, right? And I thought back to where I grew up in Hershey, and I couldn't remember ever seeing a homeless person. So it again took me kind of back to why aren't more corporations investing intentionally in the infrastructure of their communities, much like Hershey did. Beyond creating this chocolate factory, we created places to work, eat, live, learn, and play. And those are the same 5 branches for the bridge. So the idea is we look for these dilapidated properties like schools, malls, warehouses, shopping centers, and we convert them into what we call eco-villages, really just a fancy way of saying a mixed-use development. And we've seen those around where there's a coffee shop down below and a few housing units above it. But take that and kind of times it by 10. So we take these old schools, put in housing units, educational spaces, office spaces, restaurants. We do urban farming. So really kind of like a 15-minute city, and everything you could ever really want is right there and you don't really have to leave. So we're working on one currently in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And we have a pipeline in Pittsburgh, Erie, Williamsport, Bridgeport, Connecticut, Newark. I've got a lot of interest over in Kenya, in Zambia, and Nigeria as well. So these things are expanding rapidly.
Hey, Garry, it's great to see you. You came to Penn State as a tight end and defensive end. As a defensive coach, I need to know why you would choose to play offense over defense and then choose to move from tight end to tackle.
Well, the switch from defense to offense was definitely plotted by Coach Kenny. And I know when I was over there on the red squad, or I guess the white squad, it was our scout team as a defensive end. He would pull me over and have me do tight end drills. I don't know if y'all knew about that, but he was kind of.
No, we didn't.
Getting it ready soon.
A lot of good stories about those guys fighting for your services, Garry, that's for sure. Well, look, and you talk a lot about overcoming adversity from going to the Milton Hershey School, fighting through an injury, having to compete to make the team, start for the Seahawks. You never had the easy path. So in a time when young people are facing big challenges in so many areas, what lessons do you get to try and share with them from your experiences?
Man, that's a great tee up and a great question. I like that. shoot, a skilled sailor is not made on calm waters, right? And anytime I go back and talk to, especially kids from Milton Hershey School or kids that are in these marginalized communities, I like to tell them that the adversities, the hardships that they're going through are actually crafting them to be better sailors in the future, right? Family situations, the environments that they're in, it's really crafting them. When you get out into the real world, you're used to being punched in the chin and you can respond back, you know, in a pretty productive way, as long as you know how to gear that energy the right way. And that's kind of the message that I like to get out there for people. Like, as tough as it is now, especially with globally going through COVID and all the different things we've all had to handle, you know, off of that, we've all gone through with some adversities. And I do believe we're all kind of in a blur as we come out of this, but it's a perfect time to change, right? And kind of do better, right? Because I do believe that we can't go back to normal, right? Because normal was really the problem. So this is a good opportunity for us to adjust halftime, right? Go and make some changes, make a couple audibles at the line, right? Go be successful. So I think that this is the time that we're in. I think people really feel it. And I'm really excited for the future, in all honesty.
Another former Nittany Lions player doing amazing things in his community after his playing career. Always enjoy catching up with Garry. We're going to step aside for the TV show to take a break. If you want to see the entire conversation with former Milton Hershey, Penn State, and NFL player Garry Gilliam, make sure you go to NittanyGameWeek.com for the entire interview along with other web-exclusive content.